Welcome everyone to directions on how to group up students by proficiency level. My name is Brendan Ryan and I'm your education consultant with Teacher Created Materials. I've been working with your district for a few years. Matter of fact, last year we started implementing Language Power as an ELD curriculum for 5 school sites, and it's been receiving extremely positive reviews, and the level of engagement in the classrooms is very high, so we've decided to expand to additional elementary sites, and that's why you're here. We're looking at grouping up your English learners according to proficiency level and providing them with ELD curriculum that is according to their proficiency level. So that said, these are instructions and a brief demo on how to go about grouping up your English learners according to their proficiency level. So let's go ahead and get started. And I do realize that perhaps you haven't received background on Language Power. And so I'd like to go ahead and start by providing a very brief overview of what Language Power is. And please keep in mind that you will receive a day of professional development training as site administrators or site leaders, which will provide you with an in-depth coverage of Language Power as an ELD curriculum, the components of the program, how it's taught in the classroom, and how you guys as instructional leaders can support your teachers in implementing this program. But for the purposes of today, so you understand how to go about grouping up your students, you probably will need to know a little bit about Language Power. So keep in mind, if you'd like to know more about Language Power in the future, you can click right here, and this will actually take you to a link on our webpage, which provides an overview of the program, the different components of the program, and you can also access the research behind the program down here. You can find reading levels, things such as that. But just keep in mind that, as an overview, Language Power exists to provide English learners with nonfiction text that's at their reading level, and it provides teachers with lesson plans that gives systematic, explicit, or direct instruction for building listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills with your students. Now, Language Power is broken up in a specific way which mirrors the new ELD standards and how they're broken up. Let me provide you with a visual. Now, you'll notice that currently we're working with the CELT, and the CELT has 5 levels. However, the new ELD standards you'll find have 3 levels, and that is how, since Language Power is aligned to the new ELD standards, that is how Language Power is created. So you'll notice that there's a K2 span and there's a 3-5 span. Within each grade level span, you'll find 3 kids according to the 3 different proficiency levels. So you have beginner or level A, intermediate or level B, and advanced or level C. Now, the way this correlates to CELT is roughly, we're going to use level 1s for level A kids, CELT level 2 and 3 for level B, and CELT level 4 and 5 for level C. So keep that visual in mind as we proceed here. Let me go back to the main web page here. You'll want to, now that you have a background, scroll over to the How To and click that, and then scroll down. This is going to be directions on how to group up your students. This top one, however, is for Cohort 1 schools, which taught last year, and you can see the names listed here. Your school, however, will be directed down here. So the written instructions are right here if you'd like to go back and review them. You notice that step 1 says download CELT groupings by clicking the button above. So simply click here. You'll download this document, and you'll notice that we've done a lot of the work for you. We've already grouped up your students, your English learners, according to their proficiency level as based on the most recent CELT test they took in October. Now, this data is relevant because we're using it to project what we think your incoming students will be and what their proficiencies will be in September. So if your first or second grade students For this example, let's go to Bear Valley. You'll be able to find your school according to tab below. For Bear Valley, for first grade, these first graders took this CELT test in October. The incoming first graders will be coming in September. So this is beginning of the year data that we're looking at to project what we think incoming first grade students will be performing at in terms of their proficiency level. Now this will be used to purchase curriculum that aligns fairly well to the proficiency level of your incoming first, second, third, fourth, and fifth grade students. A side note is that some schools aren't doing first grade, they'll just start in second grade. Needless to say, once you actually have your students and you look at their proficiency levels, it's okay to make some adjustments during the year. As a matter of fact, that's good instruction, to use your formative assessments to adjust your student grouping during the year at any point in time. It seems like that's the best thing to do, so please feel free to do that. For our purposes here though, I would like you guys to follow along. So for first grade, we have CELT level 1 right here, 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. Okay, so we can see the totals right here. Now, what we've done, again, going back to the way that CELT speaks towards and translates to language power, you can see up here in the legend, the language power level is A, B, and C. You'll notice here we have K2A, K2B, and K2C, and 3-5, A, B, and C. Okay, so let's take a peek. So for first grade, we have CELT level, we have 6 students that are CELT level 1, so they'll be in level A. For second grade, we have 3 students that are CELT level 1, so they'll be in level A. For first grade, for levels 2 and 3, it looks like we have 4 students and 16 students, which together in first grade make 20 kids that will be grouped up into level B. And so on and so forth. You can see for, we have 15 at level 4 and 4 at level 5 for first grade, making 19 students. You guys as instructional leaders at your site have the final say in how you'd like to group up these students. You can group them up by grade level, so all first graders, A, B, and C, or all second graders. Or you can also group them up because if you recall, the way language power is broken down is by grade span, K2, 3, 5. So it's totally appropriate for you guys to be able to say, I'm going to combine my first and second grade students that are CELT level 1s, or I'm going to combine my first and second grade students that are CELT level 2s and 3s into one class. What you'll want to do is have it make sense for you, right? So you'll notice that you want to flush out your classes and have full amount of students in your classes. In this instance, where you have such low level right here, you can either make the determination of having a very small group or having that group join another group but highly differentiate for them. At the end of the day, our main point is differentiating according to proficiency level for our English learners. We want to make sure they're with like students, getting materials that are at or slightly above their level so that they can really start to show improvements during the year. Once you guys have made this determination and how you're going to group these up into classes, I need you guys to go down here, and this is where it becomes critical. I need you guys to tell me how many students you are going to have, how many classes you are going to have at each level, because this is how we're going to order curriculum for your site. How many K2 level A classes do you think you're going to have? How many K2 level B classes do you think you're going to have? And so on and so forth. For 3-5 level A, say you wanted to have 5 classes. Just hit 5, enter it in. The number of students will automatically populate. I'm basing this off of the fact that K3, we like to have 27 kids in a class, and 4-5, we're trying to have 33. So just go ahead and plug in the number of classes you think you'll have for each kit level. I will then take that data, and that'll become the materials that arrive at your site for the start of the school year. If you have any questions during this process, feel free to contact me. You can do so. You probably have my email by now. However, if you go back to the main web page and you scroll up to the top and you go, you hover over the About, click on the contact and you'll find that my contact information is right here. So I'm here to support you guys along this process, but the most important thing is that you guys fill out that portion down here and send that to me, please. We need this in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So ideally, in the next 2 weeks, if I don't hear from you in the next week or so, I'll probably be reaching out. I can meet you in person if that'll help you as well. So all the directions are right here. Last thing I'll mention is that if you would like to see the Lexile or reading level for all the kits, for all the Language Power kits, just click right here. It'll open up a new window, and you can see all the reading levels for K2 level A. You can see the reading level right here, or the Lexile here for K2 level B, K2 level C, and same for 3-5, level A, B, and C. Now keep in mind, you'll notice that you'll really only want to put your newcomers in level A because it's very low readability. Here's 3-5, level A, very low readability. That's because these students, it's created for newcomers. So if your students are scoring 2s or 3s, we've seen that that translates more closely to a level B kit. And you can see the reading level here. It's going to get progressively more complex. You can see some 4th grade reading levels here for level C. Alright guys, so hopefully with that said, you'll have all the data points that you guys need as a school site to determine how you want to go ahead and group up your students. Again, we've done the CELT groupings for you. We just need you to translate that into what your actual classes are going to look like. If you'd like to have a conversation around embedding some of your English-only students, we can look at doing that as well. But our primary target here and what you're being supported from the English Learner department is for your English learner students. So, that said, thanks for joining the call today.